Hi, BookTube. Bill Ruttenberg here with the Ruttenberg Library. Got a bit of a book haul for you. We're going to call this a conservative book haul. Recently, my wife's grandfather had passed away. When this was it February? I think he passed away. And anyway, they were getting ready to sell his house. They were cleaning out the house, and he had a lot of books. He was a pastor and had a whole bunch of church books. I didn't pick up any of those, but I did pick up some history books that he had, and so he, as I said, this is going to be a conservative book haul, but he's got some popular histories here, and then some other stuff that some other ones that I think you're going to enjoy, and wanted to show those to you. So. First of all, he had a little collection of the Bill O'Reilly books. He likes those. These are the popular histories I was just talking about. Bill O'Reilly wrote some books on different assassination attempts or assassinations. I have read a couple of them, and I'm not like the biggest fan of the books. They're okay, but you just take them for what they are. And but anyway, I picked them up, and this is Killing Reagan: The Violent Assault That Changed a Presidency. And so I have not read that one yet. I've read the Killing Lincoln one and the one on, let's see, Killing Nazi Germany. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I've read that one. So, but I have not read this one. So this is, as I said, a recent book that came out. This is a Henry Holt book, and it is from 2015. And I also picked up, and I was trying to remember if I read this one. I may have read this one, and it was okay, or maybe I started reading it and I didn't get it finished. I think maybe the library picked it up, and I just didn't get it finished. But now I'll be able to get it finished. This is Killing England: The Brutal Struggle for American Independence. And this is, let's see here. This is a Henry Holt and Company book, and this one is from 2017. And as I said, these are just popular histories. And here's another Bill O'Reilly book. This is The Civil War: Legends and Lies, the companion volume to the Fox News series written by David Fisher. And so there's this book. I have not read this. This is from Henry Holt and Company out of New York, and this is 2017. So most of these are very recent. Now, as I said, a lot of the... Here's the next Bill O'Reilly book. This is Killing the SS: The Hunt for the Worst War Criminals in History. And this is another Henry Holt and Company book, and it is from 2018, and he's got a few books. Bill O'Reilly put together a few books on World War II, and yeah, there's one. Next one is Recollections of Reagan: A Portrait of Ronald Reagan, edited by Peter Hannaford. And there's that book. And this is and I have not read this before. This is a William Morrow and Company out of New York, and it is a 1997 book. And by the sounds of the pages, I'm not sure that he read it either, because it feels brand new, and it actually has a bit of a new smell to it. So I'm not sure that he got that one read. Now, as I've spoke about in recent videos, I've been reading Richard Nixon's biographies by Stephen Ambrose, and so in the stacks and stacks of books that my wife's grandfather had, he had this Pat Nixon: The Untold Story by Julie Nixon Eisenhower, which is her daughter. So I thought this would be a good one to add in with the stuff on Nixon. And this is from Simon & Schuster out of New York, and it is a 1986 book. All right, so now one of the books I was most excited about was actually a book I gave him for Christmas, and this is Freedom from Fear: The American People in Depression and War, 1929 to 1945, by David Kennedy. And this was the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, as it says on the book. And this is from the Oxford History of the United States series. And I was real excited to get this. As I said, I gave it to him for Christmas, so I knew it was in the collection. This is from Oxford University Press out of New York, and it's a big old chunker. But I really like this series. And it is a 1999 book. But, you know, the story behind this book, I had gotten a bunch of the History of the United States, Oxford History of the United States series for, was it my birthday or Christmas? One of the two. I think maybe it was my birthday. I'd had 2, 3, 4 of them given to me, and this was one of them that was given to me. And as we were sitting at the dinner table, the conversation got to going back and forth, and all of a sudden he kind of got quiet and on his own had picked up the book and had started flipping through, and he had just started reading it. And I knew he was fully engrossed because he was a World War II veteran. He fought out in the Pacific, in the islands in the Pacific, and that moment in his life just left a huge impression. And so when and of course he grew up during the Great Depression, and anyway, he lived through all of this, and he had a great interest in it. And so he got sent to the nursing home right there at the end, when he was just struggling. His mind was always there, but his body was failing him. And so we all got him a whole bunch of these books. Matter of fact, all of these Bill O'Reilly books were what we got him that last Christmas, so that he'd have stuff to read at the nursing home. And as I said, his mind was definitely fully there. It was just his body was failing him. And so when I was able to pick all these up, they are very sentimental. They have a lot of sentimental value to me. And so these were a good find. Now, probably the 2 prizes of the day, and I'll save the best for last. But he had these on his coffee table. And this first one, and I don't have a dust jacket for it, but it's page 1, the front page history of World War II as presented in the New York Times. And this comes from Galahad Books. And there's the spine there. And it is, they put this together, of course, out of New York, and it's from 1996. This is like a really big book, but it's wonderful. It's got all the front pages of the New York Times. And I don't know about you guys, but I always find that stuff interesting. It's real cool to bring this up in class. And it is in a print where you can actually still go back and read it. And I can remember sitting in his house and picking this up off the coffee table while my wife was doing stuff around the house for him and helping him out with various things, or when we went over there for Christmas and stuff. And anyway, I would always, you know, kind of thumb through this, and I'd start reading through and reading some of these articles, and I loved this book. And so when I had the ability to grab that, or the time came I could get that, I was real excited about that. But probably the biggest find of the day was this book here. And it's a big one too, but it's the Naval Historical Foundation put this together. It's a history of the U.S. Navy, and it's a really nice, can you see that? It's like a plastic deal on the cover there. And let's see. It's a big volume. I really love this book. It was super neat. It'll be neat to go through this. It's got full color photos and everything. I'm imagining that this was a fairly expensive book to get put together. Rear Admiral W.J. Holland Jr., USN, retired, was the editor-in-chief of this. It's from the Naval Historical Foundation, the Beaux Arts edition. And it was from the year 2000. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta have that. And so it's really cool. It's got just all these different pictures in here. I'm sure there's a couple of you out here who really like this book. Mark at Richardson's Reads, and I'm sure Peg would probably like this. She got a big old series of history books on World War II Navy out in the Pacific, and so she's probably going to appreciate this. So it's from the very, very beginnings, And as I said, it's got full photos, and then they bring it into the present. Let me get a couple of, they've got all kinds of stuff here. Mine, like weapons that weight, mine warfare in the 21st century, and these are just a bunch of different, looks like a bunch of different articles on the U.S. Navy and the history of it, but it goes from clear from its beginnings to today, and it covers, it looks like a whole wide range of boats, and I'd love to give you more details, but to be honest, I don't speak Navy, and so I couldn't tell you all the names. But I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful addition. Great for my collection. I was very happy I was able to get that. But anyway, again, I got these like 3 weeks ago, and I forgot to show you, and I apologize for that. Just didn't have time to get the video done. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I hope everybody's finding time to get some reading done. I'm hoping maybe I will get some done today. Till next time, BookTube, thank you for watching, and happy reading.